Have you ever felt like you're living someone else's life? Like you're following a script written by society, not by you? What if everything you've ever believed about safety, success, and belonging was just the comfort of the herd? In this video, we'll dive deep into the emotional and philosophical cost of breaking away and the incredible power that comes when you dare to be your true self. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear may change how you see your entire life. Have you ever felt like you're drifting through life on autopilot, doing only what's expected of you by others, without stopping to ask, is this really me? This question lies at the heart of one of the most powerful and unsettling human experiences, the moment you consider walking away from the crowd, from the herd. In this video, we'll dive deeply into the philosophical and psychological dimensions of what it means to leave the herd, to live honestly, courageously, and freely. We'll explore the tension between freedom and belonging, between safety and self-actualization, and we'll walk alongside thinkers like
Friedrich Nietzsche, Jean-Paul Sartre, Erich Fromm, and Kierkegaard,
each of whom, in their own way, wrestled with the price and meaning of living a life that is truly your own. The first topic we must confront is the illusion of safety. The herd, society, custom, tradition offers the promise of protection. If you follow the rules and stay within the lines, you'll be shielded from isolation, judgment, and responsibility. But is that comfort real, or is it a carefully packaged trap? The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche challenged the dominant values of his time, particularly in his work Thus Spoke Zarathustra, 1883-1885. Nietzsche warned, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try it, you'll be lonely often, and sometimes frightened, but no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself." This wasn't just poetic language. Nietzsche saw the tribe, the herd, as a mechanism of control, dulling our instincts and creativity. He argued that the herd despises difference because it threatens their illusion of the correct way to live. He introduced the concept of the last man, someone who chooses comfort over greatness, safety over risk, routine over transformation. The last man lives a life without challenge or passion, simply because it is easier. Ask yourself, am I living as the last man? Have I traded my depth for comfort? Nietzsche's remedy was the Übermensch, or overman, a person who dares to create their own values, living independently of societal norms. But stepping onto this path is terrifying. It means shedding the armor of sameness. So let me ask again, is it better to be comfortable or to be free? In his book, Escape from Freedom, 1941, psychologist and philosopher Erich Fromm analyzed a disturbing truth: people fear freedom. Living under authoritarian rule may be harsh, but it relieves the individual from the burden of responsibility. Freedom, in contrast, demands that we make our own choices and face the consequences. Fromm wrote, "Modern man still is anxious and tempted to surrender his freedom to dictators of all kinds, or to lose it by transforming himself into a small cog in the machine." He wrote this during the rise of fascism and war, when obedience and conformity were at their peak. His warning was clear: we often give up our freedom because the fear of isolation is greater than the desire for liberation. How often have we become cogs in the machine? How often have we shaped our identity to fit into corporate culture, family expectations, or social trends? And you, have you ever stayed silent just to avoid conflict? Have you hidden your true interests or desires just to fit in? Fromm believed that true maturity meant embracing freedom, not just as a political ideal, but as an internal state. So here's the question: do you really want freedom, or just its appearance? Jean-Paul Sartre, writing in post-war France, brought existentialism into the mainstream. In his 1943 work, Being and Nothingness, he famously declared, "Man is condemned to be free, condemned, not blessed, because freedom, in Sartre's view, isn't a gift but a burden. Once we realize there's no divine script or cosmic law, the full responsibility for our identity and actions falls on us. To leave the herd means you can no longer blame society, your family, or tradition. It's all on you. And that's terrifying. Think about it. If no one tells you who to be, who are you? When the roles and masks fall away, what remains? Sartre's philosophy forces us to see freedom as unavoidable. Even choosing not to choose is, itself, a choice and a responsibility. When you leave the herd, you don't just gain freedom, you inherit radical responsibility. Can you carry that weight? More importantly, do you want to?
One of the immediate consequences of leaving the herd is social backlash. People may mock you, criticize you, or even abandon you. Kierkegaard, writing in 1840s Denmark, explored this pain deeply. He didn't describe despair as a psychological issue, but as a spiritual one, despair born of not being your true self. In The Sickness Unto Death, 1849, he wrote, "The most common form of despair is not being who you are." But what does it mean to be who you are? For Kierkegaard, it means aligning your outer life with your inner truth, often in defiance of family, tradition, or social expectation. Have you ever felt that quiet, aching despair from living a life that doesn't feel like yours? Ironically, living honestly might bring pain in the short term, misunderstanding, solitude, even rejection. But isn't that better than a lifetime of quiet despair? So ask yourself, who are you really living for, and at what cost? Despite the pain, the path away from the herd offers profound rewards. Nietzsche believed that those who dare to live authentically become creators of values, not only for themselves, but for others. They inspire, disrupt, and transform. Sartre echoed this idea. In Existentialism is a Humanism, 1946, he said, "When we say that man chooses himself, we mean that every one of us must choose himself. But by that, we also mean that in choosing for himself, he chooses for all men." Your courage to live authentically sets a precedent. You give others permission to do the same. The world is full of silent observers, waiting for someone, anyone, to show them a different way is possible. Will you be that person? Because when you live freely, you don't just liberate yourself. You plant a seed. You become a beacon. Freedom isn't a one-time decision. It's not a flag you wave once and move on. It's a discipline, a habit, a practice. You will fall. You will doubt. Some days, you'll wish you could return to the herd's comfort. But Kierkegaard would remind you, authenticity is not about perfection. It's about sincere striving. So consider this. Can you commit to the path knowing it will be hard? Will you choose truth even when it costs you popularity? Can you bear your freedom, not as a right, but as a responsibility? The herd offers safety, but it's an illusion. True freedom comes with risks, but it gives you the power to live honestly, fully, and meaningfully. So I leave you with this question. Is it better to be rejected for who you are, or accepted for who you're not? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you're ready to keep walking the path of self-discovery and philosophical reflection, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, walk boldly, think deeply, and live honestly.